So what can make one lingerie design company successful and another close its doors? I'm going to be looking at what worked for me when I ran my lingerie label. So I ran my lingerie label Banjo for nearly 5 years. I think the mistakes I made in my brand are tightly woven with the best decisions I made also. Now the things are never black and white, but I will go through what worked for my company. I don't think there's enough spoken about when companies close down. It's sometimes seen as a failure, but whilst running that company, I had successes beyond what I even imagined. So I started Banjo when I had been traveling. I'd been traveling around Thailand. I came from Thailand and ended up in Belfast with just my little backpack and didn't know hardly anybody, which was a pro and a con in the fact that because there was no lingerie design jobs, because I didn't know anybody, I had nothing to lose by starting my lingerie label there and then, rather than if I had still been working in England and had a job and was trying to balance everything, or took the leap from a paid job into working for my own label. So because I was kind of starting at zero, if it hadn't have worked out in the first year or two, there was no loss to what I was doing. Another plus point as well when I started it in Belfast was Dublin was a 2-hour train ride, which meant I was stuck in internationally, and the flights to London at the time were so cheap they probably cost the same as my train ticket down to Dublin. So I think tip one when you're starting your own lingerie label, if you can have a network of people around you, that so helps. I had a good friend who was based in Wales at the time who was doing grading, and we would like message each other in the week. She had her own business, and it just helped having somebody who was doing a similar thing running their own business, because it's a tricky one, because when your other friends are in full-time employment, they are not experiencing what you're experiencing when you are attempting to run your own business. So just having that someone there, and that could even be someone you found through social media or just a little group that you get together with, just someone who understands what you're going through, can help so much. Tip number 2 would be never try to be bigger than you are at the start, which is, that's not to say you don't wish to be bigger or you're aiming to be bigger, but I had come from working as a designer for the high street stores, and I was so used to going at such a quick pace. We would produce 15 designs easily a week, and some of those would be getting made up into samples, and then here I was designing, sewing, doing all the press, doing all the website, doing everything myself, and everything took so long. So this did make me have to work from like a 7 to 11, at least in the first 3 months. I was literally, as soon as I wake up, I was on it. And the pro thing I said about not knowing anybody in Belfast to start with, I was able to work all that and didn't really feel I was missing out, as I was doing something I'd always wanted to do as well. This did make me say yes to every opportunity that came along. I think when you're starting out, it's that fine balance of saying yes and having the goods to back it up, and saying yes because you want all the opportunities. There's no right or wrong. I mean, I said yes, Topshop did an order and they ended up placing nearly 3,000 pieces, and they kept upping their order because they wanted it in store and on the website, and I was like, yep, of course, that's no problem, yep. But I ended up hand making over 500 bras and briefs for their first order, and that was a little bit mental. Tip number 3 would be, don't spend money you don't have at the start. I mean, I got investment from Princess Trust. I'd earned money whilst travelling and hadn't spent it, and I ended up doing lingerie design. I also did t-shirt design, and oh, whilst I'm at it, here I go, let me do a little bit of jewellery. And at the best of times, I was so spread thin just even doing the lingerie never mind sourcing t-shirts, designing them, getting them screen printed, that had I probably just niched down into lingerie design and not done everything else, I think I would have alleviated some of my stress and money and resources, and then even been able to put that money into something else which then I didn't have to do. So with that in mind, save money where you think you can. I did things like I would pay the models in lingerie rather than pay them money. I found a vintage shop and I used their location and their jewellery for prints and photographs, and whilst I paid the photographer, I got him to photograph some of her stock as well, and then she didn't have to pay for any of that. I absorbed that cost and she absorbed the cost of me using her store out of opening hours and using some of her products and some of her props to use into my lingerie photo shoot. Tip number, what are we on? 3, 4? 3. Have a business plan. So I went to Invest in I and they sorted out a business plan for me and kind of with me, but made me do this cash flow projection. And it was where you had to state you were going to sell, I don't know, 5 bras in month 1, 7 bras in month 2 with the briefs and with everything else. So and then got a stockist where you're selling, or at least 20. So you are gradually projecting money going up, and then obviously this reflects all your costs going up as well, all your fabrics and your time and everything. I didn't find that really helpful, in the fact that I thought I was just making it up. My true business plan came from stating what I wanted to get done. So it would be like stock internationally. I wanted to be in press every month, but without me paying for it. I wanted to be stocked with a big store in the UK. And so it was just like key points that kept me accountable for everything I did each week and each month. So where it was I wanted to be in the press every month, that made me think, right, how am I going to do this? So that was like sending press packs out, sending press releases, sending samples out to shops, sending samples out to magazines. So every month, because it wasn't a business plan of do this, get this by such and such date, it was quite loose. So it was like every month I want to be in press, so that means every month I've got to be active enough to make this happen. I do, looking back now, I know I didn't celebrate the wins when they were there. I got stocked in Topshop, which was my get stocked in a big UK store, and then straight away I was like, right, on to the next thing. I got stocked in New York and got stocked in LA, and then it was right, done that, get on to the next thing. So if you are launching a brand, and you get where you get your first sale, or where you get a stockist, where you get something where in the direction you want to go in, I would celebrate each and every one rather than just moving straight onto the next one, because you end up then just kind of zooming through, achieving all that you want to do, and then being like, right, I've got to be on to the next thing, which is a good, because you're constantly climbing and evolving. But it's really quite sad that I didn't get chance, or didn't allow myself to go, yes, I've got this. It's only looking back now where I've gone, oh my god, I got stock there, or that was like, I can't believe I got this. If you need help with starting a lingerie brand, or just want advice on anything, I do run 30 minutes and hourly talk slots in which you can pick my brain for whatever you need to pick it over. I can look at anything you need me to look at, whether that's starting a brand or grading or anything technical. I also offer mentorships, which allows you to message me any questions that you have. You can send over what factories have sent you for me to go over, and then I can say how I would respond. And it just allows you to pick my little brain with all the information. And there's also video calls, depending on which package you buy, for a set amount of lengths, and then we just reconnect, re-get you going and work out all your next steps. If you think this is helpful, please subscribe to my channel where I shall be giving you information about lingerie design.